When my parents died, my siblings changed the locks during the funeral service. They group texted me, "You were just a charity case. They pitied. Adopted trash doesn't inherit from real family." My brother added, "Mom only kept you out of guilt. Even on her deathbed, she called you her biggest mistake." My sister piled on, "Dad's last words were about his real children. He didn't even remember your name." I simply replied, "I understand. Keep everything." They responded with a photo of them burning my childhood pictures. "Good, because we already sold your room to pay for our inheritance party. Don't ever contact this family again." I didn't argue. 7 days later, when the estate lawyer read the real will in front of everyone, that night my DMs blew up with 45 messages filled with panic, tears, and begging. "Don't you dare act like you belong here, Keaton!" My sister's voice cracked as her wine glass tipped, spilling dark red across the tablecloth. My brother slammed the door so hard, the chandelier trembled. "This isn't your house. It never was. You don't get a cent." The air smelled of whiskey and sweat. My hands shook, but not from anger, from restraint. Then the words that cut deepest came from my brother, Corbin. "Mom told us the truth before she died. You were her biggest mistake." Who is the narrator? My name is Keaton Reese Calder, 26 years old. I've learned to live in the shadows of their noise. Silence is a weapon they never understood. They shout. I watch. They lie. I remember. And though they think they've cornered me tonight, they don't know I've been holding something, a truth that will turn their rage into ashes. Family members introduced. Corbin, 32. Veins in his neck bulge when he yells, knuckles bruised from punching doors instead of facing guilt. Sable, 29. Eyes like shards of glass, every sentence a dagger. The self-appointed queen of cruelty. Arden, 21. The youngest, pacing like a caged wolf, desperate to prove loyalty to the others. They circle me, each playing their role. And me? I just sit, arms crossed, the quiet one. But when Arden mutters, "He shouldn't even be at the will reading," I catch Sable's sharp glance. Too sharp. She's hiding something. The lawyer's envelope sat on the table like a coiled serpent, fat with venom, waiting to strike. No one wanted to be the one to touch it. Corbin leaned back, whiskey in hand, smirk cutting like a blade. "You think that envelope changes anything? You're a guest in this house, Keaton. Always were, always will be." Sable swirled her glass, lips curling. "Adopted garbage doesn't inherit blood. You're a placeholder Mom dragged home out of pity." The wine tipped, splashing crimson across the tablecloth like blood spatter. She didn't flinch. I didn't move. My silence was louder than their screams, because I knew what was inside. And they didn't. Arden, too restless for his own good, cracked first. His voice shook like glass, ready to shatter. We shouldn't have sold his room so soon." The words hung like smoke. Corbin's head whipped toward him. "What the hell did you just say?" Arden froze, then looked down, chewing his lip. Sable slammed her hand down, nails gouging grooves into the wood. Idiot. But the damage was done. I caught Sable's glance, sharp, guilty, terrified. She was hiding something. I leaned forward, my voice quiet but cold. "You burned my photographs. You erased me from the walls. But you can't erase the truth that's in that envelope," Sable hissed, spitting venom. "Truth? Mom pitied you, that's all. A stray she couldn't throw back into the street." Corbin barked a laugh. "Look at him, arms crossed like a saint, while the rest of us bled for this family. You think silence makes you holy? It makes you pathetic." Arden whispered again, too soft. "Maybe, Mom." "Shut up, Arden," Sable snapped, voice cracking. And in that crack I heard it. Fear. Not of me, but of what was about to be revealed. I smiled, slow. "You're terrified. For once the silence isn't mine. It's yours." Corbin slammed his fist into the table, rattling silverware. "Defend yourself, damn it! Say something for once!" I lifted my glass, sipped water like it was wine. Slow. calm. My stillness was gasoline on their fire. Sable's voice rose into a shriek. You think you're better than us, sitting there smug and silent? Mom didn't love you. She tolerated you. I set the glass down carefully, every motion precise, then leaned in. You think this is about money? No, it's about what you all did to me. The air thickened. Arden's knee bounced violently, his hands twisting. He muttered, Don't bring up the past. I turned my eyes to him, steady. That's all you have, a past where I was nothing. But tonight, that story ends. Corbin's knuckles whitened around his glass. You ungrateful little... Ungrateful? I cut him off, my voice slicing. I spent years starving for a glance, for a seat at the table. You left me in the rain, while you cut cake without me. Sable froze. For a flicker of a second, she remembered. I saw it in her eyes. The graduation night. The memory clawed back, uninvited. Rain hammered the pavement the night I graduated. I stood outside the gym, soaked, cap drooping, tassel stuck to my cheek. Everyone else had families hugging them, snapping pictures. Everyone but me. I waited. An hour. 2. No car pulled up. When I finally walked home, dripping, shoes squelching, I saw through the living room window Corbin, Sable, Arden, all around a cake, Dad carving slices, Mom taking photos, my seat at the table empty. I didn't knock, didn't go in. I just walked past, unseen. That was the night I learned silence. Back in the present, Sable flinched. She remembered too. Guilt flickered, then hardened into rage. You're delusional. That never happened. But her eyes betrayed her. The lawyer, silent until now, finally broke in. He slit the envelope, unfolded the will, voice steady. By written testament, Margaret and Douglas Calder leave their entire estate, the house, the land, the assets, to their son, Keaton Reese Calder. The room exploded. Corbin's chair screeched as he shot up. Bullshit! He forged it! Sable screamed, high and raw, like glass shattering. No! That's a lie! He tricked her! Arden knocked over his chair, pale as death. You knew all along. I stayed seated, calm, steady, because I did know. I'd been there, by Mom's bedside, her frail hands gripping mine as she whispered, You were never my mistake. You were my salvation. Corbin lunged at the will, but the lawyer snapped it back. Signed, witnessed, irrefutable. Sable collapsed against the table, sobs tearing from her throat. Not grief, but rage at losing everything. Her mascara streaked down her cheeks like war paint. Arden stared at me, voice breaking. You knew, and you just sat there. You let us attack you. And I finally stood, slow and deliberate. I gave you my silence for years. Tonight, I give you truth. Mom saw through you. She saw who you were. And finally, she saw me. Corbin roared, veins bulging. You think this makes you one of us? You're still nothing! He lunged, but the lawyer blocked him, voice thunderous. Touch him, and I'll have you arrested before midnight. For once, Corbin hesitated. I turned toward the door. The floorboards creaked under my steps, the same ones that once carried me quietly to bed, hoping no one noticed me. Behind me, Sable's voice cracked. Keaton! Wait. It wasn't poison this time. It was raw, fractured, human. I paused, hand on the doorknob, but didn't turn. They'll never see me the same again, I thought. And I don't need them to. Arden's voice came next, trembling, desperate. We'll fight this. You can't just take it all. I glanced over my shoulder. Calm, final. You already lost. Then I stepped into the night. The air was cold, clean. Freedom. A week later, I stood alone in the empty house. Dust floated through sunbeams like tiny ghosts. The lawyer's papers were signed. The estate was mine. But it wasn't the ownership that mattered. It was the silence. This silence didn't suffocate. It cleansed. I hung one photograph on the wall, the only one Mom had kept of just us. her arm around me, her smile unforced. I whispered into the empty air. They burned my pictures, but they can't burn the truth. And for the first time in my life, I exhaled without weight. Peace at last. If you were in my place, would you forgive, or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that cut deep into family, betrayal, and healing. If Keaton's silence and strength spoke to you, like this video, it helps more than you know. And share your thoughts below. Together, we can turn pain into something stronger.